This is my second time filming this video because the first time the audio wasn't synced up to the video and I don't know how to sort it out on CapCut. Yeah, if you see me looking this side, that is because my laptop is here. I was filming it over there, but I'm filming it over here today. Get a snack, get out of that fridge, because today's video is going to be controversial. I might even get me in hot water. Also, my drink of the day was juice, but I've literally just finished it, and some Diet Coke, because you can tell what this video is by the title. So essentially it's going to be my Bookish Hot Takes, and even though this video will probably be my most controversial, I thought it would be fun, so let's just do it. Okay, first one I actually came up with when I was scrolling. Can't remember if it was Instagram or TikTok, but one of them I followed this writer called Caitlin Devlin. She wrote the book The Real Deal, and she said something similar, and then this video idea and this hot take came into my head, and that is everyone can write, but not everyone can be a writer. So, obviously these are my opinion. It doesn't take a lot to combine 26 letters of the alphabet, any combination, because no matter who you are, your age, or whatever you do it every single day in some way. Whether you talk, whether you text, whether you write an Instagram caption. You are writing, you're just not writing in the traditional sense. However, it takes a certain kind of talent to be able to write a book and be good at it, because not every book that is published is good. Like, there are some books that I rated no stars, 1 star. And there are also some people that just shouldn't write. Now that would be another video, I think. That would probably be more controversial if I film it. But also, like, anyone can write Once Upon a Time, but that does not make that story good. Also, Once Upon a Time is arguably, I'm not saying this, I've had someone say it to me, Once Upon a Time is a boring way to start a story. But yeah, someone could feed an idea of a book into AI and then have AI write that book. Yes, they didn't write the book, however they gave the prompt to AI. If you do this, you are not a good writer, because AI steals from artists if you're, using them to create a picture on your cover, which I think some people have done. I've seen adverts on TV where they've used AI, and it's very obvious that it's AI. AI is also, I don't want to say stealing jobs, but like, people are using AI to animate. There's animators out there who don't have jobs, who are struggling, who you can use. Also, like, there are people out there who have used AI to write a book. Which, no, that doesn't mean you're good at writing. That means you want to, but you aren't good enough. You don't have the talent to write. So you're essentially getting a machine to do it for you. Also, for the amount of celebrities that use ghostwriters to write their book, whether it's like a fiction book or autobiography, I can only name one author who has used a ghostwriter, and that is David Williams. And I only know this because in the book Orphalanti, at the end, he says thank you to his ghostwriter because he has no clue what the book is about. It's been a while since I read that book, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's used one. Yeah. And I know some celebrities have actually written their biography, like Julia Fox. However, that also, I was about to say something, but I think that goes into, it goes into another bookish thing, which I will talk about later. My next one is to do with AI, coincidentally, and that is AI can be used in the writing process. And I know that I have just gone on a rant about how I pretty much said the opposite of this, Bookish Hot Take. However, I am not talking about generative AI, so something that generates something. I am specifically talking about AI like Grammarly or even character AI, because you can't necessarily use, unless you're using a specific bot on character AI. But yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. So using AI to help you edit is okay. So I mean like Grammarly, as I've just mentioned, because it won't write the story for you. It will just give you suggestions on how to make it better. Like, oh, you used was when you could have used were, or wrong spelling. It just corrects you on your Grammarly and your punctuation sort of thing. And that's what I use, because I can't afford a editor, so I edit my books myself. I also make my own covers. Also, not talking about Grammarly Pro, but like free Grammarly, that makes things so much easier for starting out authors, because yes, I have my third book coming out on the 8th of June, but that doesn't mean I have a steady income. Like 9 times out of 10 every month, no one has bought my book. Yeah. Next one, I did mention character AI. So if you have an actor in mind for a character, for example, I was using this man here for my dark romance. I have since changed the actor, but I was using this guy. So I know is it CrackGo? No, I think that might be a good search engine, but like using a voice AI sort of thing, so even character AI, because you can just put it into character AI bot and have it read it out loud. I personally think that's okay. You can comment down below whether you disagree with my hot takes and also your own hot takes. But if you feed the AI a line from your book, not only does it help you in editing, but it also makes it like easier for you to see if that is actually a line that you think that character will say. Because you could write a line like, I hate you, but that doesn't stop me from loving you. Okay, that's actually a good line. That's literally off the top of my head. But like, I don't know. I hate you, but that doesn't mean. Oh my god, what was the line again? I hate you, but that doesn't mean I don't love you, or whatever. You can just put it into like a character AI bot and get it to read it out, or even like a AI reader. Because, like I said, helps you see if it makes sense and see if it fits that character. The next one is judging a book by its cover is okay. And I don't mean for saying do not judge a book by its cover, because I believe that is talking about people. In this case, I am literally talking about books. As you can see, you can't see all of my shelves because I have one behind Spencer Reid here. Well, actually, that's Matthew Gray Googler. That's not Spencer Reid. And then I have a book trolley. I mean, literally judging a book by its cover. Because if a book has an ugly cover, you are not going to pick it up, let alone pick up the book, turn it round and read the blurb. When a cover is done well, it can give a reader ideas and the inclination of what the book is about. Like, if the book's called For Love of Pie, I feel like that is a book, but I was just trying to think of something random. And then it has a pie, like as in Gooseby pie, that was the first pie that came in my head. A reader will look at it and be like, oh, it's possibly about baking. Or pie, 3.15, I think. Pardon me. But yeah, covers also give the readers the vibe of the book and will also intrigue readers to pick the book up and read the blurb. And some readers don't even read the blurb, so they will literally just pick up the book. Okay, I feel like this one, along with the AI ones is probably my most controversial, and that is not every fan fiction needs to be published traditionally. So what I mean by not Wattpad or AO3 or Tumblr, not them sort of sites, I mean like publishing houses or through Amazon. And I am literally saying this as someone that started off as a fan fiction writer. And if you dig far enough, or deep enough even, you could probably find my fan fiction. And all I'm going to say is, it's a Wattpad and to do with Evan Peters. That is the only one off the top of my head. And my Evan Peters one has over 1,000 reads. So, but that doesn't mean I want it to be published. I would rather, yes, I will talk about it and I will dig myself a hole and like mention it and hope that Evan Peters never finds out, because
That was embarrassing.
but that doesn't mean I want it to be published in real life, because yeah. My first reasoning is, like I said, I'm a huge fan of fan fiction, but in my opinion it kind of feels icky, especially if it is in a world that has already been created, so like a Harry Potter fan fiction. And I feel like that is very controversial because Manacled, which is a Hermione, so that's Draco and Hermione fan fiction, is being published. And I know, I've forgotten what it's, obviously they've got to change it because legally fan fiction cannot make money off of it. So for example, if I wrote a Criminal Minds fan fiction, I cannot make money off that book because I do not own the rights to Criminal Minds. So especially books about real people, for example, After by Anna Todd started off as a Harry Styles fan fiction, and to get it published they changed the name from Harry to Hardin, and there's a film made out of it. Another example is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I have not read the original fanfiction, I've read it as The Love Hypothesis, and it started off as Kylo Ren and Rey. And yes, fanfiction can be good, whether it's been published or not, but I personally don't think fanfiction should be published. But that is my opinion.
That's my opinion!
And yes, I do occasionally still read it. And like, you know, I just don't think it should be published traditionally, and I'm trying to like dig myself out of the hole. Also, like I said, I especially do not think fanfiction should be made into films. Again, especially if it's about a real life person. For example, After, I was about to say by Hardin Scott, by Anna Todd. And because again it just feels icky, and I know that sometimes fan fiction can make the actors or whoever uncomfortable. Like I know Harry Styles wasn't happy with After, and I can't remember how I found this out, but I think Finn Wolfhard knows or knew about fan fiction about him, but he did not like it. It made him uncomfortable. My next hot take is, not every celebrity needs to have a biography published. And I'm saying this as someone that has read a bunch. I've read Michael Jackson Moonwalker, I've read Britney Spears, and I do want to read Jeanette McCurdy, the person that played Sam in iCarly. I do want to read that one. I've also read Will Smith's. I personally don't think that one's good. And my main reason is because most of the time they aren't even written by the celebrity themselves, and instead they have someone else write them. And sometimes they aren't even credited. And I get having someone else to edit it, that's different. But I just think that ghostwriters should be credited. That's just my opinion. Yeah, most of the time they use ghostwriters. I said it earlier, Julia Walters. No, I do have hers. I think Britney Spears wrote her, and I know Julia Fox wrote her own. So, yeah, I just don't think this is making proven a British, but every Tom, Dick and Harry, like, not every Tom, Dick and Harry needs to have a biography published, because a lot of the time they probably aren't good. And especially if the person is controversial, Like, I know Russell Brand has one, and he's always been controversial, but especially now, and I'm not going into that. But I know he has one. But, yeah, especially if a person is controversial, they should not have a biography written. They could have it written, but I don't think they should publish it. And I get it, you're famous and you have money, but that does not mean you need to have use that money to have a book written about you, so then you can have more money. Next one, which is actually my second to last one, is books do not need multiple edition covers. And I feel like this one is controversial too. I think this whole video is controversial. But, yeah. My first reason is because I believe books do not need a new cover when they have been adapted. Especially when half the time for cover is literally only a few actors on front cover and it's not even good. I can think of Six of Crows that has for people on for cover. What else? I know Good Girls Guide to Murder, and yeah, I do own multiple copies of books. Like Frankenstein is one. I have 2 Good Girls Guide to Murder, and I have 2 reprints of Rachel Price, which are for special editions, and I'm getting into that now. Not every book needs to have special editions made, especially when for special editions cost you an arm and a leg. And I do understand why they are so expensive, and that is because they are literally special editions. I just think it's a waste of money. You can use that in other ways. However, does this stop me from wanting them? No, because I still want the special edition of, special edition Waterstones exclusive of A Good Girl Guide to Murder. Like for hardback, even though I prefer paperback. Yeah, especially if the book has like a shop exclusive. Because, for example, like a Target exclusive. I do not live in America. I cannot get a Target exclusive book. Yeah. Also, my last reason is sometimes I feel as if a book's cover doesn't need to be changed internationally. So, like, depending on the country. However, I do believe it's to do with licensing. Like, I know Magnolia Parks has a different cover in the UK to America. And a lot of the time, readers will buy multiple copies of the book because they prefer one country. So they, like, let's use say American. They read Magnolia Parks, and then they find out it has a UK edition, because it's, I'm pretty sure, a British book. And they're like, oh, I prefer that cover, so they buy that one. In my opinion, books should have the same cover all around the world. And I do understand it's to do with licensing, and I think for laws, for example, in the UK, a book could have naked people on the cover, but in a different country, maybe they can't have naked people on the covers. My last one, and at this point, I wanted to put more, because I thought the video would be short, so I literally typed into Google, what did I type? Bookish Hot Takes, and I read through Reddit, and I read an article, and this one came up, and I was like, oh, actually, yeah. And that is, book series are getting too long. Like, you do not need a 10-book series. A book series that is 2 to 4 books, I think is fine. Like, I love the Twisted series, and that's 4 books. Good Girls Guide to Murder is 3. Yeah. Series with 6 or more books feels unnecessary, and to me it gives off a vibe that is just full of filler and not things that add to the plot, and a lot of the time they can be cut or even summarised. Oh, another book series that I've read and enjoyed is Her Soul to Take. And Knock 'Em Out, actually saying that, I've already read the first one. Yeah, and also a lot of times sequels are not needed. Because I will argue, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, especially if you didn't know the last one, that is cool, was the sequels necessary? No. However, do I like them? Yes. Also, I feel like I'm trying to think of an example. Purely long series I can think of are Shatter Me, which I do own because I do plan on reading it. And Bridgerton, but Bridgerton is about every sibling. You know? I feel like in that sense it does kind of make sense. And those are the only two example really long series I can think of. My brain's going Lord of the Rings, but I don't know how many books that has, and I literally own a Lord of the Rings complete edition. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now because I can't think of any more examples. Obviously, these are just my opinions, and I do apologise for me rambling, and if it doesn't make sense. And if you disagree, that is fine, and if you agree, that is also fine. Let me know down below what your bookish hot takes are. Also, I could say these are my bookish hot takes, but next year I could be like, actually, these are my bookish hot takes. Because opinions change and so do people. Anyway, don't forget to comment down below what videos you want me to do and questions, and I'll happily do a Q&A video. I do want to do one soon because I'm lazy and I love doing Q&As. I've done one before years ago, but I've deleted that video. Pardon me. Yeah. Also press the subscribe button and the notification bells, and then you get a notification every single time I upload a brand new video. Also give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And press the notification bells, and then you get a notification every single time I upload a brand new video. And I shall see you in my next one.